Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first real episode of Season 2. We did one on Friday, kind of a welcome back, explain some changes, and we're going to get right back into it. We're gonna recap what is a tree. But first, before we go any further, I would just like to point out that this is the most boring shirt I own. I have no idea why I picked it today, but here we are. Boring Shirt Monday. Maybe that could be a new thing. So I want to apologize. I mean, Friday I'm rocking these awesome Hawaiian shirts, and then Monday I'm wearing like a pinstripe blue shirt. Anyway, enough of the shirts. It's not GA Shirt TV. So we're going to recap what is a tree. And I know we went over a lot of this in Season 1, but I thought it would just be a good idea to kind of refresh. This week we're going to be talking all about trees. We know trees change through the seasons. We know that there is still time, even now, to plant a tree. In fact, it can be beneficial to plant in the autumn. We're going to talk about that. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to be announcing a lucky winner. Hey, get out of here. I'm going to be announcing a lucky winner who actually won a tree and won me going there planting it. Well, me and Brandy, but Brandy, actually maybe I should tape and you can plant, Brandy.
No.
Okay, so I guess we're going to keep the same phone. Remember when we did the episode on weather in the tree lot and our entire set blew down? Huh? I remember.
Send us money for a new board.
Yeah, exactly. 1-800-GAKidsTV. So what is a tree? Well, we know all plants are made up, essentially, we're talking broad strokes here, of 3 pivotal parts. And that is... Hey, there we go. I knew I had another marker. Don't worry, again, like when I make a mess, I do things like that, but then off camera I run over and pick it up because I'm a big nerd. The leaves. The second part is the stem, and then the third part is the roots. And that is essentially what every plant is made up from. And if we remember, when we talk about it, the stem essentially is the structure and the support of the tree, or the plant, but we're talking about trees here. It keeps it upright, gives it the stability, but it's also where all of the essential veins run, for want of a better word, the capillaries. And it's where, when the roots uptake the water and the nutrients, they get them up to the leaves gather the sunlight and the photosynthesis, and they push that down to the roots. And the stem is the support, or the trunk on a tree is the support for that, and it's the conduit for that constant changing of the gases and the energy and the water and the nutrition that the overall tree needs. And as we know as well, for the most part, again, there may be things, but they're all planted in soil, and that's where the nutrition comes from. So, what a tree basically boils down to is it's a tall-ish, you do have dwarf trees, you also have monsters, more to that in a second, but it's a tall-ish, woody-stemmed plant. That's it in a nutshell. So, what I actually did, instead of me drawing, and I know my drawings are outstanding realism, but I thought what we could talk about were the different leaves, because right now, trees really stand out at this time of year because of the changes they're going through. There's so much happening. A lot of times people look and oh, the leaves are turning yellow. Is it too early? Why is it doing that? I hope it's not sick. Is this natural? The leaves are turning red. There's all kinds of questions going on. So I thought what we'd talk about are the 2 main classifications of tree, and that is deciduous and conifer. Deciduous simply means it drops its leaves. Conifer simply means cone-bearing. So let's talk first of all about deciduous. Both of those are deciduous. The leaves look completely different. Different color, different shape. They come out differently from the stem. There's nothing similar about these leaves except for the properties. they have adapted and evolved to work with the plant that needs them. So this one here is off a sambucus, this one here is off a dogwood, and they do the exact same function. The photosynthesis happens in the leaf, and the energy goes back down, and you know, this is where all of that transferring happens from right there where I pruned it correctly, and it's taking the glucose that it's created during the photosynthesis, and it's pushing it down as energy into the roots, allowing the roots to grow, to uptake more, to allow the leaves to grow. And that's how it works. So both of those are deciduous, and you have the same kind of variety. Both of these are conifers. You've got a bluish silver one and a greenish silver one, and there's every color imaginable into there, every tone. There's blues and there's silvers and there's grays. And then, and I know you may not realize it, we have this one, and this is the larch. And the larch is really, really cool. I'm gonna kind of hold that there, because the larch literally comes in between these. And the larch is a deciduous conifer. Now when you're driving through, and again, I know we have people from all over watching this, but specifically in southern Alberta, when you're driving through the foothills and the mountains at this time of year, and you see those swaths of like neon yellow and they're just exploding, that's the larch. And the larch, something else that's fun about it is junipers and spruce are quite pointy. Like that doesn't hurt, but it's not comfortable. You plant the big ones, they prickle you, you can get rash. The amazing thing about a larch is you've got to come in and touch one, because that is ridiculously soft. It's actually softer than the dogwood leaf. So that big, floppy green leaf here, this is softer than it. And it's a deciduous conifer, simply means it's cone-bearing conifer, deciduous, it sheds its leaf. That needle is a leaf. That is a leaf. They are all leaves, and they're all there to undergo photosynthesis. Really quickly, if you guys remember, photosynthesis is where plants get their food. So plants get their food essentially, and we're going to draw a traditional leaf here just because it's easier. So there's my dogwood leaf. There it is, and again, we're not talking about leaves here, but if you guys remember when we did the thing on leaves in the spring, it's covered in stomata, which is where the gas exchange happens. Now what photosynthesis requires is light hits it, and light hits it, and it goes into the chloroplast of the cell, which produces the chlorophyll, which is the green color, okay? And the light hits it. It also takes in the carbon dioxide, essential for photosynthesis. So the carbon dioxide goes in as well. Now, what it has coming up from the roots, remember, it has water. So the water's going in there. So you've got a plant cell. Oh, chaos. Randy, why do we decide to do episodes outside?
Because it's fun.
There you go. Okay, this is fun. We're having fun. The water comes up from the roots. So we've got light, we've got gas, and we've got water all hitting inside that leaf. And then the cells, they have that green pigment, the chloroplast, and that is creating the photosynthesis. It puts glucose, the glucose goes back into the plant, glucose being sugars, energy, to promote growth, and it puts out nice, fresh oxygen. It cleans that dirty air, it can clean dirty groundwater. It's an incredible, incredible process. Well, what happens, as the light diminishes at this time of year, the same energy isn't happening. It's not worth the plant pulling all that water up because the return isn't the same. So it stops developing that green pigment. That starts to fade, and that's where you see the different coloration. The oranges, the reds, the yellows. And that's why the leaves change color. It's got nothing to do with the temperature, fertilizer, it's got nothing, water, nothing to do with that. It is purely the amount of light it receives. Light is the plant food. So I want to talk to you about a couple of cool things here about trees as well. Did you know that trees, and this is just a fun fact, trees are the biggest and the oldest living things on our planet. So I Googled it to get a reference because I didn't know the exact numbers. And there's a giant sequoia on the west coast down in California, and it's staggering. Like your brain can't even conceive it. It's 275 foot tall. Okay? So to put that into perspective, a blue whale, you've probably watched a nature documentary, you've seen the blue whale. Blue whales were bigger than dinosaurs, remember, okay? And a blue whale is approximately 82 feet long, okay? So you could fit 3 blue whales, nose to tail, end to end, and this tree would still be bigger than them. The tree's circumference, and I had to work this out, they only give diameter. I had to go back to my math class. So as we all know, pi times diameter equals circumference. So the circumference of the tree, maybe you all didn't know that. There you go, free math lesson. You're welcome. The diameter of the tree is 25 feet, which means the circumference is times 3.4 pi, 75 foot plus. That means a guy my size, with my arm spread, it would take more than 12 of me holding hands to circle that tree. It's mind-blowing. And then we talk about how old trees get. One of the longest living animals we know, and I'm not talking about the small micro animals, I'm talking about animals we recognize, is the giant tortoise. And the giant tortoise has an approximate average lifespan of 175 years. I mean, that's crazy. That's a good innings, okay? That's a good life. There is a bristle cone pine growing, and its age is 5,000 years old. This tree is 5,000 years old, and it's still growing. Okay, so when we think about these trees, and when we see these trees, what may seem very temporary for us, or a very temporary change, these are incredible, incredible specimens, capable of seeing out literally millennia, capable of supporting so much life, from tiny fungus to grizzly bears that might live in these trees. Everything in between. They are so essential. We use them to produce food, shelter, fuel. We use them aesthetically to please us when we look at our garden. We use them as shade or protection from winter winds. There is so much a tree brings. They are so phenomenal. I have such a deep appreciation of the tree. So that's it. Obviously, there's way more I could talk for. I could talk 15 minutes just on photosynthesis. We could discuss exactly how the root, leaf, and stem system all works. We don't have time for that. We're going to wrap it up. But tomorrow, we're going to be discussing what changes a tree goes through in the season and what you might do to protect your tree. And then Wednesday, we are going to talk about how to plant a tree in autumn, how it's different from the spring, and we're going to be announcing our lucky winner. And then Thursday, we're going to go plant a tree. I'm so lucky. It's our first time off-site planting a tree, and we could barely get a chalkboard and paper right without things collapsing on us. And yet they're trusting Brandy and I to go somewhere and plant a tree. So, and like I said, if you remember on Friday, one take. We're not doing do-overs. We don't have time. So that wraps us up for today. I hope you all have an excellent day. And we'll see you tomorrow when we discuss the changes a tree goes through the seasons. Bye, everyone.